What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So last night was my first night back at work at the hospital after our week-long vacation in Tulum, and man, that vacation was very much needed. And guys, Tulum was beautiful. The food was great, the drinks were awesome. It was just an awesome trip. And I feel like the first day back at work after being on vacation is like always the hardest. Anyways, I'm making this video because I had a patient last night that I really want to talk about. If you're new here, and of course you're new here, I only have like 1,000 subscribers. I'm Brad. I'm a physician assistant that works in a hospital here in Kentucky. And obviously to protect patient privacy, I'll have to adjust a few minor details of this case, but you'll get the idea. So here's the story. An elderly man is brought to the ER by EMS after suffering a fall at home. He was found to have a fracture of his right hip, and so the ER doctor calls me to admit the patient into the hospital. And this is actually like a very common scenario. In any given week, I will probably see 2 or 3 patients with a very similar story. But this one in particular was a lot different, and you're gonna see why. So I go see the patient myself, and the story that he gives me is the reason why I'm making this video today. So this guy is an elderly male who lives by himself, and according to the family, he is usually otherwise healthy, very active, and is pretty self-sufficient for his age. And honestly, this often gives family members like this false sense of security that nothing bad could happen. Anyways, so this patient says that about 24 hours prior to coming to the ER, he was walking through his home and he tripped on something in the floor, lost his balance, and unfortunately fell to the ground, landing on his right hip, causing the fracture. He said that he felt immediate pain in that hip and was unable to get himself out of the floor. And his cell phone, unfortunately, was on the kitchen table, like just out of reach. And just imagine that. You've fallen in the floor, unable to get up, in severe pain, and the one thing that could rescue you is just out of reach. So he says that he spent the entire day and the entire night crawling around on the floor, inch by inch, just trying to find some way to get help. He even said that the next morning, he was so hungry that the only thing that he could find within reach to eat was a dog biscuit. And honestly, I can't even imagine what could have been going through his head. You're in pain, you're alone, nobody knows that you've fallen. And as the hours went by, he probably started to wonder, is he gonna die here? So he goes on to say that the next day, he had the idea to just crawl to the front door and just start banging on the door in the hopes that somebody walking by would be able to hear him. Now, it's unclear how long he was doing this, but eventually somebody that was walking by did hear the noise and was able to get into the home, call EMS, and the patient was then brought to our ER. When he got to the hospital, he was pretty dehydrated. He had some scrapes along his forearm and knees just from crawling around on the floor for 24 hours. And of course, he had the fracture of the right hip, but he survived. And so we started IV fluids, pain medicine. I called the orthopedic surgeon who was able to come the next day and take him down to surgery and fix the hip. But again, he survived. And this honestly is like the best case scenario that could have happened for this guy. But here's what I keep thinking about. What if nobody had walked by? So if you have an elderly relative, whether it be a parent, grandparent, or some kind of elderly family friend that lives alone, please just routinely check in on them. Call them, stop by the house, have another family member go by and just check in on them. Those tiny things may actually save their life. And if they'll agree to it, consider things like a life alert necklace or an Apple Watch. There's a lot of wearable tech, like the Apple Watch, that will actually detect a fall and can automatically call emergency services if for some reason you're unable to respond. It's just one of those things that you hope they'll never have to use, but you'll be very glad they had it if something should happen. Working in the hospital has taught me more than school ever prepared me for. This is just one of those cases. If you watch this video all the way through, thanks for listening. If you have anything to add to this or have had a similar experience, let me know in the comments down below. But guys, that's all for today. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.